Hi and welcome to week 6. The first topic that we're going to cover in this lecture is wildlife management. And wildlife management is just the planned use, protection, and control of wildlife through the application of ecological principles. And what we're trying to achieve is either to protect the habitat that is currently existing or to be able to find ways to manipulate habitat so that it's more accessible and continuous for animals. Habitat is just the general environment in which an animal lives. It covers an area for food, for water, for shelter, and it's also a place for their breeding grounds. So one of the problems that we have today is called habitat fragmentation. And this happens when you have either a farm or a city that is put in between what was originally continuous habitat, and it now fragments it. So you have a section of habitat here, say for a cougar, and you have a section of habitat here, but it's not connected. So there is no free flow of the animals and mixing of them among each other. Ways that you can create this pathway between is what's called a wildlife corridor. And a wildlife corridor is an area of land that's set aside and it's vegetated and water and all the same resources that you would find in the original habitats you recreate in this corridor, so it actually affects as a natural bridge and a continuation of the same habitat across a larger area. When I lived in Houston, my husband and I were on our back porch one night, and we're in the middle of the city with buildings across from us, and underneath the streetlights, we look down at the sidewalk, and there are two coyotes just walking down the sidewalk. And we know that there was a park here, and we know there was a park there, so they just chose the sidewalk as an area to get from point A to point B. Now, the world's largest wildlife corridor is currently being built in California, and the habitat has been fragmented. This is on the northeast side of Los Angeles because of construction, and there's a particular highway that goes across. So you have in the north you have cougars, and in the south you have mountain lions, the general populations. You have smaller populations of each within each areas. Well, the mountain lions have tried to cross this interstate, and it's an 8-lane highway in both directions, and they tagged 26 male adults, and they found that 8 that tried to cross, 7 were killed, and only 1 actually made it across. If you have a mountain lion population in one area and each lion needs 10 square miles of territory to call its own, then you're not giving it enough area because of the surrounding buildup of cities for it to actually have enough area for all of them to thrive. And what they found also is that the competition between adult male lions, that they're killing each other. Another thing that you have here is there's not a lot of genetic diversity because they have inbred. The genetic material has become similar. So what they want to do is they want to build this 200-foot bridge across the interstate, and it's going to be 165 feet wide, and they're going to put vegetation across it that's similar to the areas where they live. They're also going to put sound barriers so that the noise from the highway doesn't scare them or disrupt them. And because they're going over the highway and they want to come through a slightly built up area on the other side, they're going to build a tunnel. And the project is going to cost $57 million. But with such a small wildlife population of the mountain lions there, it's considered worth it, because at the rate that they're either getting hit by cars or dying from infighting or even natural causes, over a very short period of time, this population could become extinct. So that's wildlife management, and that's an example of only one way that we can address the issue of having fragmented habitats. The second part of this week's lecture is about sustainable waste management, and the topic I want to talk about right now is composting. There is organic matter that we have, such as kitchen waste and plastics and cardboard. And these are materials, sorry, not plastics, paper and cardboard that can be put in one place. And you have these oxygen thriving bacteria and they decompose it. And this compost can then be turned around and it can be used as a natural fertilizer or additional topsoil for areas. So this is stuff that's not going into the landfill, but actually can be turned around and used again. There is an example company is called the Compost Company, and what they've done is they've gone and on a large scale they've offered to come get the waste from different companies and they bring it back and then they compost it. So they're helping companies in some states. Different waste disposal management laws are very strict, and so you can't throw away certain things. Well, this company is going and they're taking the waste material for them, so it's helping those companies be in compliance, and then they bring it back. They turn it into compost, which is good for the environment, but then they can turn around and sell it to organic farmers or anyone else who might like it. So this is a form of recycling that we're seeing, and we're going to learn other really positive methods that we can sustain waste management. We can use less chemicals, we can put less material in landfills, and we can mitigate any negative effects it has, and then we can turn around and reuse and recycle. So I hope this is going to be a great week. If you have any questions, please send me an email and I'll get back to you. Thanks for listening.